Sentinel Sports Central will be going over a college football game preview and prediction on a big game coming up in Week 13 of this 2020 college football season, and that's going to be between Kentucky and Florida. And for both these teams, this is going to be an important game, especially on the Florida side, who's definitely a team that I think can still make it into the college football playoffs. So for Florida, this is a must-win game. And then for Kentucky, of course, trying to keep their bowl hopes alive, this is going to be a big game for them as well. We'll be going over a full game preview and prediction on this one here today, starting out with their team trends. And of course, Kentucky last week got absolutely dominated by Alabama. That game was not even close from the start. They lost that game 63-3. That was their final score there. And of course, Alabama is just a team that's out of the ordinary right now. They're playing extremely well. I'd say they're definitely the best team in the nation. So for Kentucky, I mean, that's a terrible loss. There's no doubt about that. There's not much that you can make out of that game, but still, I mean, Kentucky still has life, and I still think this Kentucky team has got potential moving forward to upset a couple of teams. I mean, if you look back, Kentucky kept it close with Georgia a couple of weeks ago, so you can't forget about that. I mean, Kentucky can keep it close to some good teams. They just were not able to do it against Alabama last week. But for Florida, they beat Vanderbilt 30-17 was the final score there, and it was actually pretty close to the first half. It looked like Vanderbilt was possibly going to put Florida on upset alert, but in the end, Florida pulled away in the second half. They got the win there 38-17. Week streaks both these teams. Kentucky is 3-5 with a one-game losing streak, and then Florida is the 6th-ranked team in the nation. They're 6-1 with a 4-game winning streak. So Florida is on a very hot streak right now. Their last game that they lost was on October 10th against the Texas A&M team, which of course is now in the top 5. So Texas A&M, of course, I mean, that is not a bad loss at all. They only lost that game by 3 points. So for Florida, that's not a bad loss at all. And ever since that game, I mean, Florida's played a lot better, so you can't forget about that as well. But this game's going to be on Saturday, November 28th, noon Eastern in Gainesville. So the Gators will be your home team here, and it will be in the Swamp. Spread currently says Florida by 24. So the spread is going very heavily on Florida right now. ESPN FPI's got Florida 90%. And the Vegas prediction is also going on Florida's side, 37-20 being the predicted final score as of now. Here's your stack person for this game as well. Kentucky's currently got 20 points per game, 26 points allowed per game, 122 average pass yards a game, 178 rush yards. Then for yards allowed, they got 222 passing and then 158 rushing. As for Florida, they got 44 points per game, 28 points allowed. They got 377 pass yards a game. So Kyle Trask, of course, trying to keep his Heisman hopes alive here. I mean, he's been playing extremely well this season. I mean, if you look at Kyle Trask's stats, he's got 31 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. I think that's the best touchdown-interception ratio in the nation right now. That's basically a 10-to-1 touchdown-interception ratio, which is insane. I mean, even Joe Burrow was not able to do that last season when he was with LSU. So Kyle Trask has been playing extremely well. He's a very accurate quarterback. He's put up 2,500 total yards on the season so far. He's easily one of the best quarterbacks in the nation. They also got 144 rush yards, and then for yards allowed, they got 268 passing and then 141 on the rushing side. So obviously for both these teams, I mean, if you look at Florida, they're extremely skilled in the passing game. I mean, you got Tony, of course, their top receiver so far with over 500 yards already through 7 games with 7 touchdowns. So he's been playing very well for the Gators. And then you also got, of course, you got Pierce, your running back, with 345 yards and 3 touchdowns on the season too. He's been a big help to this team too. So Florida's got a lot of weapons on the offensive side, and that's a big reason why they've been so good. I mean, Kyle Trask is as good of a quarterback as you really can get for college, and honestly, I think Kyle Trask is living up to the potential that Joe Burrow had last year. Like, if we had a normal season this year, Kyle Trask, I mean, I'm not saying he's going to put up 6,000 yards at passing this year, but Kyle Trask, I think, would have potential to possibly hit 5,000, possibly even 5,500 yards this season, which, let me remind you, that is an insane stat. Like, Kyle Trask, honestly, right now, is on track to make it at least a 4,000 yards on the season. And through a short season, that is extremely impressive. Like, Kyle Trask, he's been playing extremely well. And I'd argue that he's the best quarterback in the nation right now. I mean, you got Trevor Lawrence, and you also got Justin Fields, those other 2 quarterbacks who are definitely big standouts right now in college football. But Kyle Trask is not far behind them, in my opinion. And, of course, once again, on the defensive side for both these teams, Florida actually has a worse passing defense, according to our stats here. But in the end, then again, they do have a lot more high-scoring games, so you got to consider that too. But as for some key points for this one, Florida is definitely one of the hottest teams in the nation right now. Once again, they're coming off of a 4-game winning streak right now. They've played very well since that loss against Texas A&M earlier on in the season, and they've been playing pretty dominantly. They've basically blown out every opponent that they've played. Of course, they had that dominant game against Georgia a couple of weeks back. They blew out Arkansas, blew out Vanderbilt. also blew out Missouri. So all around, Florida's been playing very well, and they're currently in the pole position in the SEC East. So Florida is easily your top favorite to win that division right now. But as for Kentucky, they're definitely not going to be winning any divisions or making it to any championships this season, but they still have their bowl hopes alive. I mean, there's still a chance that we do see Kentucky make it to a bowl game. Like, they just got to win a couple of games in through the next couple of weeks. But of course, I mean, Kentucky, it's just been the inconsistency for them. I mean, you have one good game. Like, they played Georgia pretty well, but then they get absolutely destroyed by Alabama. This Kentucky team, and a big problem why they're 3-5 right now, is because they're super inconsistent. Like, they've got a good quarterback in Terry Wilson, which of course he's been pretty injured over the years, but still he's a great quarterback. He's definitely very talented, and I think his upside is tremendous if he can just execute it. But Kentucky, it's just been the inconsistency for them, and I think Kentucky is a much more talented than the record is showing. And that is something that Florida should take note to. I think Kentucky is a team that can keep it close with this team in some circumstances, but Florida, I definitely think this is a must-win game for them right now. I mean, if Florida loses this game, that puts them at 6-2 and pretty much out of the college football playoff picture. So really, I mean, if you think about it, Florida's got everything to lose here. Kentucky really has got nothing to lose, so I'm sure Kentucky's probably going to throw everything at Florida in this matchup, which I don't think is going to end up being enough. I've got Florida getting the win here in the end, 45-17 being the final score. I just think the Gators, way too good of a team. Kyle Trask is way too good of a quarterback for this Kentucky defense that's definitely in a rebuilding stage right now, which I think your halftime score, it's going to be 21-7. We will see a close first quarter, and possibly into the second quarter it will be close, but Florida Gators are too good. They're going to get the win, 45-17. I've got Florida covering pretty easily in this matchup. Probably it's going to be 85% towards the Florida side, so I think Florida is highly likely to win this game. Like, I would be very, very surprised if Kentucky was able to get the win here. Like, if you told me this game was going to be a close one, and if you told me that Kentucky was going to keep it close, I wouldn't be surprised personally, because Kentucky, once again, they've got a lot of talent. Their record is just not showing it. But, I mean, if Kentucky did win, I would be stunned. But Florida, in the end, I've got them winning it in a blowout. 45-17, once again, is my predicted final score. But do let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Let me know your score predictions in the comments. I'd like to hear your thoughts on that. And if you enjoyed this preview, slap a like on it, subscribe as well, as it's really appreciated. But then again, thanks again for watching. Stay tuned for more from All Sports Central. I will see you all later.